Welcome everyone to the Outtakes Movie Podcast. I'm Sam and we are still going on our quest to go through every single movie ever made and objectively rank the best two worst of all time. Joined as always by my amazing team. Amelia, what's going on?
What's up?
Joe, how's things? Pretty sick. And Jacob.
Wow. I'm surprisingly tired this week. I went through a phase of not being tired for podcasts. Now I'm tired again.
It'll get to us all. In like a month, we'll all just be fucking zombies. Like, welcome to the Outtakes fucking movies. Yep. Jesus. Oh, man. Standard YouTube plugs and shit. If you like what we do here at the Outtakes Movie Podcast, consider giving us a like and a subscribe, and let us know what you think of the show down in the comments down below. Follow us over on social media at The Real Outtakes on Twitter and Instagram and all that good stuff. Now, for the sake of saying it, the world as we record it, this episode here, on the 4th of June, that's how time works, is in, quite a state. And I just wanted to say, obviously, Black Lives Matter. Obviously, don't find yourself on the wrong side of history. Love your brothers and sisters who are calling out for help. It's really, really important that we all stick together and we all stand by each other. And if you do find yourself in a position where you can support any of the numerous charities and bail funds, please consider doing so if you can afford it. That would be amazing. We're here to provide you all with some entertainment to get you away from the world. So it's probably the last time I'm going to mention it, but I feel like it does need saying. Regardless, we're here to laugh at a big, dumb, fun movie that I think we can all get behind. So it's 2004, and we were graced with the sequel to the Scooby-Doo movie, which everyone was asking for. So let's see where pop culture was at the time of the release. Fun fact, this is going to be a really quick segment because I discovered as I was writing up the notes that Shaun of the Dead, another movie that we covered, came out 2 days before this one. So we're going to blitz through it. We've basically covered the lot. So, pop charts, in case you'd have forgotten, from that episode, we had, I'm just going to do the top 10. Peter Andre was at number 9 with Mysterious Girl.
Okay.
Here we are, yeah. It's all flooding back, isn't it?
Listening to that the other day.
Were you?
Yeah, man. Yes. What do you mean, of course? Mysterious Girl, you know what I mean? Peter Andre, what are you on about? Obviously.
Mysterious Girl.
I have to get it in there at least once a month, you know what I mean? Part of my life schedule.
Do you know what's like baffling about that song, right? It's like, didn't he write that in the jungle? I seem to remember that he was on I'm a Celeb and he wrote it while he was there. And that would have been like pre-Christmas. So 3 months down the line, it's still in the top 10.
That's pretty
wild.
Good song.
Good song.
Number 4, Britney Bitch, It's Toxic. And number 2, just fallen number 1 from the previous week, which is a crying shame, Cha Cha Slide.
Let's go.
To think that song was ever in the top 10 baffles me.
Do you know what's weird, right? I can't remember a time before the Cha Cha Slide.
I was about to say, yeah. When did that come out? It's just, you assume it just existed and has always existed. It's always
in
there.
The beginning, there was nothing, and then there was the Cha Cha Slide. I don't remember a time before it was relevant. It's always been in my life. Mental.
Beautiful. It's like ancient, script or something, isn't it? They'll find it.
I believe that was in Socrates' texts. Yeah,
it was. Yeah. If you translate the hieroglyphics in the Great Pyramid, it will be there. They'll be doing the dances.
Slide to the left, just underneath it. Slide to the right.
Freeze! Everybody, clap your hands.
Just all the hieroglyphics.
They're all doing it. That's what they did when they finished building the pyramids. Everyone's just gathered around it, like.
How low can you go? Can you go that low?
And that's what they were saying.
That was them lowering the pharaoh into the tomb.
Oh man!
One hop. Oh.
Oh man!
He did.
Yes. So, over into the world of video games. Again, covered this already. Quick breakdown. The first Far Cry came out, Final Fantasy XI came out, and Sonic Heroes came out. Games came out. And in cinema, this is the one we didn't cover. So again, So Scooby-Doo came out at the end of the month, so I'm going to cheat a little bit and I'm going to see what it could have been facing kind of like a continuous momentum from the start of the month, and then work our way up. So on the 5th, the Starsky and Hutch reboot movie came out, the Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson one.
Oh, okay.
What a film that was.
Which I've never seen, and I can't imagine. Look, I imagine it's exactly what I assume it is.
Yeah, don't watch it. It's not good. To be honest.
Okay.
There's a bit where, to give you a context of what kind of film it is, there's a bit where they think they're putting sweetener into a coffee, but it's actually cocaine. And they entertain some ladies with cocaine-fueled coffee.
Right.
So, there you go.
As you do.
Great.
Snoop Dogg's cool in it, though. He plays a pimp, so that's cool.
So
There's nothing Snoop Dogg won't do, I swear.
there is not. Oh my god! Have you seen the Just Eat adverts with him? They depress me so much.
I'm sure there's one
J
he does
to the U
in
to the S to the T.
America. He promotes Viagra in America, I'm pretty sure.
Does he?
Nice. My guy.
Yeah. Yep, I've got one of my housemates watches the Super Bowl or like all the American football matches, and the adverts during it's just Snoop Dogg like pops up, not quite like that, but he's just there promoting Viagra.
Amazing.
I always think there's a weird... The American adverts are so weird, right?
They're well
because
mad.
you can tell... Well, sometimes you get companies, like Papa John's did it, where they just play the American advert over here and they don't get the British voice.
Yeah.
It's so weird. It could be the exact same advert, but the voice makes it really weird. Americans are too enthusiastic about it on the TV. They're like, the new Papa John's! And whereas we're like, yeah, the new Papa John's, it's alright. Just go try it. You can have a go.
Yeah.
America's like flipping
Not
off the walls
sponsored.
and shit. Well, man.
Do you know what? This is just reminding me. It's like, because I like wrestling, and in like the wrestling kind of podcast scene, for whatever reason, one of the most frequent sponsors is Blue Chew, which is basically like a chewable Viagra kind of substitute. It's the same stuff, but it's just a chewable, right? And the weirdest thing in the world is to hear like wrestling and like that. It's like JR, like the classic wrestling voice going, "Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting on and I'm struggling. I take one bite of Blue Chew, I get the most powerful erection I ever had." It's fucking really weird. After Starsky and Hutch, God, what a fucking throwback. And this could have eaten into Scooby-Doo's audience, I feel. Agent Cody Banks 2, Destination London, came out on the 12th. Do you remember Agent Cody Banks?
I don't even remember the first one.
Wow. So this must have only have been relevant to like the people only slightly born after you. This little twink would go around in like a suit and a tie, and he'd be like Kid James Bond. And it was like Johnny English style humor, but it like was worse because at least with Johnny English you kind of got the haha he's old, but now it's just he's cute and young. Like, and it's the same prospect. Very odd. It's probably good that that's not stood the test of time. Shaun of the Dead came out, as we said, on the 24th, and just after Scooby-Doo, Hellboy. And I can't imagine anyone who was waiting for Hellboy would have spent money on Scooby-Doo first, so...
Man, they gotta get that monster fix, you know.
Oh, maybe,
That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Imagine the thing is, Hellboy could also be called Hellboy Monsters Unleashed, and it wouldn't. That doesn't sound like a ridiculous title for Hellboy.
It doesn't know. I'd watch that, to be fair.
I kind of hate that you're so right about that. Like,
It kind of works.
it does. But regardless, the movie we're here to talk about is Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed. Joe, take it away.
Okay, so this film, right. The thing with this film that I feel like a lot of people kind of nitpick on, not nitpick, that's not the right word. They pointed out straight away is the person who wrote the film. Who wrote this one as well as the first one. And that is, of course, James Gunn of Guardians of the Galaxy fame. So, it surprises, like, even me before I even think it. But I was having a quick look, and yeah, he wrote the first one, and he wrote the second one. I would say these two films are the first more Hollywood kind of studio kind of films he wrote. Well, the first one was, because I looked, and James Gunn also wrote the Zack Snyder remake of Dawn of the Dead, which came out this year as well. I don't know if you guys remember that one. It was not good.
Yeah, I heard bad things about it.
Which makes me kind of wonder what was going on with James Gunn, because he's a good writer. So why is he writing all these bad films?
Well, okay. Well, he is a good writer, but he's a good writer present tense. 2004 was 16 years ago.
Fair enough. Okay. I mean, with this one especially, it feels like he knows how ridiculous the source material is, and he's really leaning into it. Which I get. I get that. But there's some bad lines of dialogue in this film. But anyway, another fun fact about this film, which kind of links to James Gunn, is that apparently Michael Rooker was originally meant to have a role in this film, but didn't get one. For those who are not in the know, Michael Rooker appears in quite a lot of James Gunn's films. He appears in both Guardians films, and does he appear in Super? He appears in Super as well, doesn't he? I think so. Yeah, let's say that he does. No, he does. I remember. Anyway, the director of this film, I feel really bad for him because he does get overshadowed by James Gunn. And to make that worse, I actually forgot to find out his name. Which is really sad, and I apologise to that guy if he's watching. I know his first name starts with an R and his second name starts with a G. I know that.
Is it Roger Gosnell, something like that?
Maybe.
Does that sound partially
familiar.
right?
Yeah, I mean, I did find out other films that he directed, right? So
yeah, Roger Gosnell.
Yeah. So this guy, okay, well him then, right?
Oh
so
no.
He directed.
Sorry, carry on, Joe. I've just seen
classics. He directed some other classics like Home Alone 3, Big Mama's House, Beverly Hills 2 Hour, and of course the 2011 Smurfs remake, live action Smurfs remake. So, he obviously directed the first Scooby-Doo as well.
He likes a good flop.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, I mean, they must be profitable if he's still in the business. You know what I mean? Like, if he's still getting things, it's like, right, who can we bring in to make this film? This guy's fine.
What that tells me is that, like, when these studios are acquiring these properties, they're not like doing it with the intention of, let's really try our best and let's see if we can. It's just like, just give it to this guy. It's trashy, it's bad, it'll get a critically bad reception, but the kids, they'll love it.
Kids will love it.
Kids will love it.
And I did back in the day. I fucking loved these movies.
Yeah, it was well good. It was a pure nostalgia trip for me watching this. The only other thing I want to mention beforehand is everyone heard about the Matthew Lillard thing with the new Scooby-Doo?
Yeah.
The thing where apparently, so after this film, he then went on to do the voice of Shaggy and pretty much everything else, like all the cartoons and everything. But when they came to making this new Scoob film, he wasn't even contacted, and he didn't even know they were making it until they released the trailer for it.
Oh my god!
Which I think is really mean.
That's really harsh.
He was like very open about how annoyed he was about it, and I don't blame him. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, if you're practically the physical embodiment of bloody Shaggy.
Like, I get that they wanted to get a bunch of like proper big names in there, but like they could have like asked him or something, or they could have informed him at the very least. You know what I mean? Like,
I think
told him like, we're doing this for this reason.
The weird thing about doing things like that with these kids' movies is it's not at all why the kids, like why the actual target audience would want to go and see them. No one went to see the Lego Ninjago movie because fucking A-list celebrities were playing the Ninjago characters. Exactly. Kids wanted to see the Ninjago characters on the big screen. It's the same thing with like Scooby-Doo. No one's going to go and see a Scoob movie because I don't even fucking know who's in Scoob. Who's in Scoob?
Who replaced Shaggy?
So
there are some
it's
big
that
names
guy that Will. It's that Will thingy guy. He's in. Oh god, you will know him.
Isn't Zac Efron play Fred?
Yeah, he plays Fred.
Great.
So let me quickly have a look. So I know Zac Efron plays Fred. Will Forte, I don't know if you know the guy. You'll recognize him if you Google him. He's playing Shaggy. Gina Rodriguez. I don't know if any of you've seen that. Is it Jane the Virgin?
Yeah.
The woman from that, she's playing Velma. Frank Weller, who was the original voice of Fred in the original cartoon, is doing the voice of Scooby-Doo, which is nice. He kept him at least. And then Matt Wahlberg is in it. Simon Cowell's in it. What the
Simon
fuck?
Cowell. Yeah, he plays himself. Yeah, he plays himself.
Ooh.
Yeah,
God.
I've heard about that.
Wait, so who
Yeah.
plays Daphne then? Oh, Amanda Seyfried plays Daphne. Yeah, so
So-
it's all proper like celebrity people.
So what's his name again? Matthew Lillard. Is that, am I getting that right? Who plays Shaggy? Who played Shaggy?
in this. Yeah.
Fucking bless the guy. I don't know what he's like as a person, but do you know what I do know? He loves playing Shaggy Rogers.
Oh, he does, yeah.
Out of all the cast in this movie, he's the most committed. Whatever ridiculous thing they want him to do,
yeah.
he's like,
Exactly.
I'm fucking Shaggy Rogers.
Exactly. What's the thing? That's what I mean. He went on to do all the voice in like multiple other animated things, so he must really love it. And whenever he goes to like conventions and stuff, he goes, as Shaggy. Everyone's there. He's like, I'm going because I played Shaggy. You know what I mean? And so I don't, and he's played this character for so many years. I'm not surprised he's pissed off.
Yeah.
By the fact that they just didn't even give him like the courtesy of telling him that they were replacing
It would start to feel like identity theft.
Yeah, it's weird.
Like,
Almost,
just be
yeah.
like,
I don't know if you guys have seen the footage from the new Scooby-Doo film, but the new Shaggy's not very good.
I'll have to have a look.
Matthew Willard is so... Is it Willard or is it Lillard? Did I say it
Think
wrong? Matthew
Lillard.
Lillard.
is so much better. It's ridiculous. The new one's like...
Thing is,
It's like a shitty YouTube impersonation, the new one. It's really bad. I hate it.
Oh, wow.
It sounds really
I
bad.
can imagine someone like going up to him in the street and saying, "Oh, you're Shaggy. Who played Shaggy in the latest movie?" And he'd just go, "Wasn't me."
Yeah. Well, yeah, fair enough. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Shaggy.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice. Wasn't good, but
Put
I
in
got
there.
it.
Ah, that's what I'm here for. That's the only reason I'm here. You know it.
But
Fuck, I love that song.
Anyway.
It's so funny.
Right?
But it's really sad. But let's take a trip back in time to 2004 when he was still playing Shaggy, and let's begin with the film. So, okay, here we go. So, right, I don't know about you guys, but as soon as this film started, that music kicked it was like pure nostalgia for me. And the way the moon became the Warner Brothers logo became the moon and everything, I was like, I completely forgot about this weird Spider-Man opening scene where you're flying through the city or something. It's really weird, but I kind of loved it, and I was like, nice. So obviously we're flying through the city of Coolsville. Don't know what state that's in.
That intro reminded me so much of bloody Batman Forever.
Yeah, it's weird, innit? It's proper
It was just flying through a big CGI city with bright colours and stuff. I was like, oh no. Oh
I'm
no,
there's,
here we go again.
There's gritty alleyways and there's fucking gritty subways and shit. Why? We don't see any of this in the film.
Yeah, no.
We probably spend about 5 minutes in the city as a whole. What the fuck? You know what I mean? It's so weird. Anyway, so we follow that pterodactyl as it flies through the city, and it leads us to the museum where there is a red carpet event for the Mystery Inc. team. They arrive in a Mystery Inc. themed limo. I'm curious to know whether that was already in their garage or they had it made for this event. Who knows? I'd like to think that they have it for events such as this. So, as we get out the car, we get a delightful look at each member's fan base. And
yeah.
there's a lot of shit going on here. I was kind of overwhelmed as I was watching it. So, Fred's fans are teenage girls, which he hands the ascots out to him. Daphne gets the two young girls, they're all dressed in the fancy clothes, and he hands her a rose. And then it cuts to her weird stalker fans who have fucking tattoos on their chests, and it's fucking weird. Scooby gets dogs, obviously. Velma gets nerds naturally. And Shaggy stops near
Tumblr
his
fans, basically, before Tumblr.
Yeah, literally, yeah. The people probably who went on to invent Tumblr. Yeah. And then Shaggy stops near his fans when he gets a whiff of a particularly strong earthy smell, which radiates from their directions. He's obviously just smelling food or something, because this is a 2004 kids film. So You know, there's absolutely nothing else Shaggy's fans would smell of. You know what I mean? It's obviously just food. You know.
I found it really weird how Scooby-Doo was like barking like a normal dog. By the way.
Yeah, I know, it's weird, isn't it?
I don't like that. So I mean, he can talk. He can like translate what dogs say to humans.
Yeah, well, he must do. Like, why is he not in a science
he
lab
can
or
speak
something?
like basic English and dog.
Yeah.
Dog.
The dogs. Well, yeah, because the dogs get subtitled, so they're not just barking at him; they are communicating with him.
Yeah, dogs are hyper intelligent.
Good God, this is deep.
Like, what kind of radioactive wasteland was he born on for him to be able to speak? You know what I mean? Like, it's really weird. Anyway, what were we up to? Yeah. So we meet Alicia. How do you say her name? Is it Alicia? Alicia Silverstone. Is that her name?
Girl from Clueless. That's how I know
Yeah, that one.
That's it.
I'll assume that it's Alicia Silverstone. Anyway, so we meet her. She's given up the life of acting and has taken on a career in news reporting of the fine city of Coolsville. Fred tells us that Coolsville is awesome and all the people who live there are the best in the world. You know, good stuff, Fred. Anyway, so we go inside the museum and we find out it's actually an exhibit for all Mystery Inc.'s like previous captures. All the costumes are there. I feel like this bit here is where you can kind of tell that it's written by James Gunn, because man really likes to take like obscure characters from like a property's lore and bring them and be like, "Ew, have some of this." You bet you've not seen this guy for a while or something. So that's where he like really shines here.
It's
really
things like this that make me think that this movie really should have been the first movie. Because the first movie's weird, right? Like, the gangs all moved on, they've split up, they kind of reassembled. The mystery that's in the first one isn't really a mystery. There's not like in this one, it presents like 6 or 7 different like potential suspects, and you kind of gotta they all potentially have a reason to have been doing it and everything. But in the first one, it can't be anyone, and then it's Rowan Atkinson, and then Rowan Atkins is a mecha, and it's Scrappy-Doo who's not been in the rest of the movie. You know what I mean? Like, it's a very weird kind of like. But this one, it directly brings back old costumes from the show. It way more utilizes the overall feel, look, aesthetic of the show, gimmicks of the show. And it feels like if you were to adapt Scooby-Doo directly into a movie, you adapt it into something like this. And then if you have to make a sequel to that, you probably make the first movie.
Yeah, it's really weird how the way around they've done it. It's like they tried to go really big the first time. And I was like, people don't want that. Let's just give them what they actually want. And then give them the film words. Because I mean, I loved watching this film and picking out all the costumes and shit and be like, seeing like how they'd like made the costumes from the show like real life. It was well sick. I loved it.
I remember the first time I saw the episode with Captain Cutler in, and I was like, it's the guy from Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed! I finally caught the episode!
Because I used to watch, because I like really loved Scooby-Doo when she was younger, so I used to watch it loads, especially the older one. And so when I first watched this, by the time I watched this, I'd seen a lot of the episodes with these characters in, so I was like picking them out in the opening scene. I was like, oh shit, it's that one, you know, all sorts of stuff. A fun fact about the costumes, though, apparently they were all fully functional, and you could wear them. And the plaques that are by the costumes in the museum actually include trivia about the costume itself based on the original cartoon.
That's really cool.
There you go, fun fact here. So we have a look around the museum. Everything's looking cool. Everyone's partying, getting piazzed. And then we're introduced to Seth Green's character in a delightful use of the record scratch sound effect as he falls over in slow motion.
This
launches.
movie,
he's fucking man being like thrown by someone. You know what I mean? That's a marble floor as well. So he's going down and that's hurting. You know what I mean? Like,
several teeth would be missing. Like,
it's a broken nose and blood,
concussion, internal bleeding. You know what I mean? Like,
this movie is really interesting because it's the only movie ever that's ever thought about what if Seth Green, but sexy walk. You know? No one's
Literally.
ever said that before.
Nah.
This
weird.
movie did.
You did. Well, there you go. At least it's got something going for it. So, anyway, he's a nerd, obviously, like Velma, and he wants to hit that, but she can't accept. She can't accept because Mystery is her mistress, and she must heed her sweet call. That's what she says. That's a direct quote.
She does say that, yeah.
God, that was a bit
Direct quote from
poetic.
James Gunn himself. Thank you, Mr. Gunn. So, anyway, one lightning flash later, and the pterodactyl ghost comes to life and wrecks the pie. The gang jumps to action and they try to capture it, but in typical Scooby-Doo fashion, they fuck it up and destroy some things. And then suddenly Doctor Doom appears and starts threatening everyone before flying off with the pterodactyl and a bunch of the other costumes as well. Shit party, not gonna lie. So in the aftermath of it, Velma finds a sick clue, and the press want answers. So Fred, being the slick, smooth-talking fuckboy that he is, decides he has to, he can talk. He can take the press. He's going to talk to him. He's very confident about it. So anyway, the press rips them a new asshole, and the scene, which is pretty relevant, to this day, the press takes a single clip of Fred and manipulates it to make him look like a twat. Fucking Alicia Silverstone, am I right? You know what I mean? What a bitch.
It's fake news. This
it literally is.
This movie is a
very
Trumpian
relevant.
allegory.
It is, yeah. James Gunn, you can see into the future, apparently. You know what I mean? Shaggy and Scoob, they overhear the rest of the gang kind of shitting on him, and because they trashed the museum, and they decide that for once they're going to actually be awesome detectives. And the first step is obviously, to dress like the rest of the gang. So after a lovely fashion joke from Daphne, Velma discovers that the clue she found is actually a real pterodactyl scale. Fred, I don't know if you guys noticed this one, Fred even adds the point that Doctor Doom was obviously there to embarrass Mystery Inc. Even though he wrecked the event dedicated to them, he told them that he was personally attacking them, and then stole some of their costumes. But, it's Scooby-Doo, so we have to be told everything.
Excruciating. Yeah. Why is Fred just an idiot jock where nothing penetrates his head? Fred was never that in any incarnation ever.
No. He wasn't, no. It's really weird because all the new versions of these characters try and make them really modern and relevant and stuff. But this one kind of doesn't. It puts it kind of in the modern day. But it's these are all character traits, let's just leave them the way they are, it's fine. So they kind of leave Fred to be I don't know how you describe it.
There's little things they do, which is it's strange. Like Fred's original cartoon costume is technically seen, but Shaggy's wearing it in green. In these two movies, he never actually puts on the original Fred costume. It's always some cool alternate version. Shaggy's shirt has that kind of sci-fi MI High looking logo kind of on the side for Mystery Inc.
Yeah.
And then the other weird one is this is something that's bugged me for years, and it only dawned on me while watching it this time. All of Daphne's costumes just felt wrong when I was a kid, and I couldn't place my finger on why. Never once in the entire movie does she wear one single green accent piece. It's just purple. There's nothing to break it up.
What's Daphne? She was,
She wears green accent
just
pieces,
purple.
though. She wears a green
Does she?
head. Yes.
Or a screen,
Or a
yeah,
scarf.
it's a scarf, I remember.
Oh man, I can't even picture it.
There's always
So weird.
just
Oh my
a
God, she
bit
does?
to there's always just a bit
Whoa.
to break it up. It's never just all purple.
Man, what's really weird about that? In my head, I couldn't picture it when I was imagining the cartoon. But then I pictured the Lego minifigure, and then it came back to me. I don't know why that's the case. It's really weird. I don't know why. I don't know. I never had any of those sets or anything. I just remember them. Weird. Anyway, so we right. What does everyone think about the fucking Mr. Ink headquarters? Because it's fucking weird.
It is weird.
like-
What is this Spy Kids looking thing? I swear.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? It's like
well weird.
it's like I don't even know. The thing I want to know is, right, where did they get the funding to build this place? Because in the
Right?
first film, they split up for a couple years or whatever. So did they build it after the first film? Did they sell the movie rights to what happened in the first film and use the money to build the office? I don't know. It's really weird.
The really important question is, how old are Mystery Inc. in this
I was
movie?
about to ask this.
They must
Because
be
a
in the 20s at least.
lot has happened. A lot has happened. We see them as like college kids playing frisbee with like Papa Scoob, right? In the meantime, the entire show has happened. They've broken up. They've got back together. They've funded an entire sci-fi HQ and become mega celebrities again with a mystery limo and stuff.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is Scooby-Doo will die at the end of this movie.
He's an old boy as well, I'll tell you. He shouldn't be jumping around as much as he is. He needs to take a rest, you know what I mean? These are his golden years.
And, you know,
chill out a bit.
I think the genetic mutations he goes through during this movie have not helped at all. You know, they've probably hastened the aging process
I think
in
he's
some way.
probably... Then maybe that's why there's no third film, because both Shaggy and Scooby died not that long after this. Because of all those genetic mutations going on. I'm just saying, like, it's probably... If I ever meet James Gunn, I'll ask him if that's what happens in the law.
What's the thing? James Gunn did come out and say there was a plot for the third one.
He did, yeah.
What is it?
was
It's
gonna
really
be
weird.
In Scotland. I forgot to look what it was, but apparently it was going to be in Scotland, and this Scottish town hires the gang to try and find these monsters or something. But then halfway through, it turns out that the monsters are actually the good guys, and that they're just trying to live by, you know, normally.
Yeah,
and that
James Gunn said that it was going to be about Shaggy and Scooby recognizing their own prejudices and having to come to terms with them.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
I think I've actually found the full-on statement. The Mystery
Yeah.
Inc. gang are hired by a town in Scotland who complain they're being plagued by monsters, but we discover throughout the film the monsters are actually the victims, and Shaggy and Scooby have to come to terms with their own prejudices and narrow belief systems.
Isn't that amazing? Why did that not happen?
That's insane.
Oh, well, I would have watched that. Yeah.
I'd watch that. I'd watch like Scooby-Doo Train Spotting combination. That'd be amazing. The monsters just turn out to be meth heads or something. That'd be amazing. I'd watch that film. But yeah, anyway, so they're in their weirdly mad, groovy fucking headquarters or whatever. And yeah. So she finds out it's a real scale, doesn't she? And Daphne's like, maybe it could possibly be one of the people we previously locked away, Mimit. And, you know, okay, great. So then they give us a big old lovely chunk of exposition. We find out about Jonathan Jacobo, the original pterodactyl ghost, who used the money he stole to fund his sick Frankenstein experiments. But Jacobo dies when he tries to escape from prison. Fun little thing, right? I did a deep dive into Scoobipedia, which is the Scooby-Doo wiki.
Nice.
And I found out about the original episode with the monster, and I actually remember this episode as well. I don't remember like the story or anything, but I remember bits of it. I remember being well scared of the sound it made. It was really scary, the really high-pitched pterodactyl voice sound thing it made.
Can you replicate it in any way?
I don't know if I can. It was really like a... It was like that. It was well weird. It was horrible. Just listen to it later. It's well grim.
We'll take that soundbite and like replay it over like the original footage of the pterodactyl.
Yeah, there you go.
I feel like that'd be far more threatening.
Yeah, it probably would, to be fair. But it's terrifying. It gave me actual nightmares. But so the guy, the action mask in the show, is a guy he's just named Johnny. So they've obviously interpreted they've given him an actual name in this one. And I don't know if anyone noticed this, but did anyone see who played Jonathan Jacobo in this?
Tim Blake Nelson.
Yeah, so it's that guy
who was in Fantastic Four.
He was. So he's the guy in Fantastic Four who plays
the government guy.
Yeah, the government guy, and he's the guy who's in Watchmen, and he's in a bunch of other things. He's in Brother Where Art Thou, and he's in... I don't remember Holes, if anyone remembers Holes.
Yeah, the Shia LaBeouf
the young
movie.
Shia LaBeouf, yeah. He was in that. Oh, what a guy. Anyway, but yeah, so in the actual original cartoon, he's just named Johnny, and he's actually using the costume to scare people away from his music pirating operation, which he's hiding in the mountains. So, he did actually commit a crime. He wasn't just arrested for wearing a costume.
Is pterodactyl, right? Are they spelling that like Terror?
Right.
Actyl, or is
it's
it
not
pterodactyl like
it's
normally?
spelt the actual way it's spelt, which I think is a missed opportunity. And in my notes, I've spelt it terror. I've spelt it the proper Scooby-Doo way that they should have done, where it's called pterodactyl. That's how I've spelt it.
Damn right.
It doesn't look right, and it's spelt wrong it's spelt differently every single time I write it, but it doesn't matter. It's fine. So next we find out about Jeremiah Winkles, or Old Man Winkles. Wickles? Is it Wickles?
I think it's Winkles. Or
No,
Williker? Old Man Willikers? Old Man... It's something like that.
Wickles. I'm going to say Wickles. Old Man Wickles. And he's also known as the Black Knight Ghost. In the original cartoon, it's actually his name. It was actually the Old Man Wickles thing came from the cat. I don't know if... when they take the piss out of Scooby-Doo, and they unmask the guy, and it's like, oh my god, it's Old Man da-da-da-da. That's from this particular character in the show. So, there you go, fun fact for you.
Oh.
I love the Black Knight Ghost design in this movie. I love that it looks like a cartoon villain.
Well, he's actually like a reoccurring character in Scooby-Doo, the Black Knight Ghost. He's like the fucking Joker to the Scooby-Doo gang or something. I mean, he's probably not, but he does appear in quite a few things. But in the original cartoon, he dresses in the armour to scare people away from his art forgery scheme. So, it's in like a museum or something. So, there you go. Some Scooby-Doo lore for you. So the gang then head out to visit Old Man Wickles' house. He's got a mad fucking mansion, it's well sick. But then when they arrive, they're told by the doorbell that if they don't fuck off, they will pay the price. But Fred thinks he's a smart ass and pulls the bell anyway, sending the whole gang plummeting down into a cave. So after Daphne frees them with a bunch of makeup, with makeup, that strip. What is that strip thing? I don't know what it is. It looks like a plastic.
What did she say? Pore strip?
Yes.
It's basically all you do is you pop it on your nose and it pulls out blackheads and like bumpy bits on your nose and like gives you a hella clean nose. It's very satisfying on a man, trust me.
Oh, fair. I mean, I kind of want to see if her like technique works with the finger thing. Where she like puts some blush on it and then goes. Kind of want to try it, but I haven't got anything that's fingerprint related, so it's really sad.
Honestly, I think the thing that's the maddest to me is that you completely glossed over the mousetrap style roller coaster.
They should have died.
It's incredible.
That and the Jehovah's Witnesses that were just chilling in another ball cage.
Yeah.
And the Girl Scout. That was the Girl Scout.
The Girl Scout selling cookies.
I'm not gonna lie though, right? I actually laughed at that bit where he's like, "Have you heard the good news?" And he goes, "Yeah, there's cookies."
Yeah, there's cookies.
I actually laughed.
It is a good joke. It's a good joke.
It was made me laugh. But yeah, obviously, when they get thrown into that cage, there's a mad, crazy, bloody mousetrap style fucking cage thing that would have broken a couple necks, but didn't because it's Scooby-Doo. But yeah, anyway, so Daphne frees them with her like makeup thing. She frees all the other people as well. And they finally have access to the inside of the house, and they just continue to trespass. Naturally, they split up and search for clues. We get a kind of a good joke where Shaggy says it, and Fred's like, "You saw the thing that I say." And it's like, hey, because you always say it. Good old Scooby-Doo jokes. So Fred, Velma, and Daphne discover a ghost book with instructions on how to create monsters, while Shaggy and Scooby discover Sir Mix-a-Lot, which is fun. So after that, they pile up a bunch of things they plan on stealing from this old man's house, but then they find a post-it note with the name of a bar on it. Not bad. But when suddenly, when they're all celebrating, they're all well happy because they found a clue, the Black Knight Ghost attacks them. The gang fight it off and they escape by kicking my guy, the Black Knight Ghost, in the balls. Cheap shot, if you ask me.
Now,
Not
it's
lie.
not that simple, though, is it? Right? What
It's
you're
not
avoiding
that
talking
simple,
about there
but-
is that Velma works out a huge mathematical equation to determine that kicking him in the balls is the most optimum strategy. It's
Yeah,
mathematically proven to be the actual weak point.
It should just say, really, shouldn't it, in the notes of the book? Like, kick him in the balls or something. Like, see, the thing I want to know is, right, this book, I know she says it's from, like, 18th century, whatever, but, like, was it written by, like, witches or something in America? Like, what is the law to this book? Right, do you guys ever remember that game, that Scooby-Doo game? And it had the ghost book in that, and the gimmick of the game was that you could open the book and it would, like, trap the ghosts inside. I don't know if you guys remember
I
this
think I've
game.
played that
Oh,
one.
what a game. It was beautiful. I had it on the PlayStation and on my Game Boy. It was well sick. But it's a similar kind of premise where they had a book and it was like Ghostbusters but Scooby-Doo. And you like opened the book and you had to like trap the ghosts inside it. It was well sick. But
I feel like I've seen it.
Yeah, the book's got like a skull on the front of it. It's a pretty sick game. Well hard to be honest, I'll confirm. But yeah, so, you know, the book's a similar thing, I guess, except, you know, you create monsters instead of trapping them.
I also really like how in this scene it's revealed to us that no matter, it doesn't matter, they've done all these previous adventures before. Scooby-Doo's concept of a clue is just something that he likes.
Yeah. What is the dog, isn't he? An idiot. I know
He can talk. He's a talking dog.
I know, but I suppose. But yeah, anyway. So so they escape by kicking him in the balls. And what does he say? Right, he says that he's like,
Right, in the round
What is it?
tables.
yeah,
Right in the round tables.
a good old English joke, classic. We should all be saying that when we get kicked in the balls, I guess. Because we're English and we all wear knight armor. Anyway, so we go back to the headquarters and Shaggy and Scooby sneak out by pretending Scooby has rabies, and no one seems concerned by the fact
Yeah!
that he has this terrible
You wouldn't take him out for
disease.
fresh air, would you?
I know.
Jesus, that's so
Like,
negligent.
Like, exactly, like, I get that he's, like, Shaggy's dog or whatever, but you know what I mean? Even he seems a bit like, if that was me, right, if I was Fred, and I saw Shaggy's like, it's fine, I'll take him out somewhere, like, you fucking won't. Get him in the car right now and take him to the vet, you know what I mean? Oh, man. Bunch of bitches, really, aren't they? But, they sit down, they go to that bar, and then Velma discovers that the pterodactyl scale has randomonium in it. Randomonium? Is that the word?
I think it is.
Creative name.
Yeah. Which can be found in the old silver mines in Old Coolsville. God, all these fucking names, you know what I mean? But then my boy Seth Green appears, and Velma freaks out. And then the film teaches us a very important lesson. It teaches us that if you really want someone's attention, you have to dress sexy and pretend that you're someone you're not.
Get your tits out.
Yeah, literally, stick on some leather, it's fine. It'll impress Seth Green. And Fred as well, apparently.
I'm not here to like kink shame anyone, right? But I remember intensely the trailers for this film showing up on TV, and they put Latex Velma in all the trailers, and they specifically put the "Who's your mommy" bit in. And I remember, and look, I was a kid. I was a kid. I was an actual innocent child, but I was like, "Is that supposed to be?" That's not what I thought sexy would be. Moms? Whatever.
So weird.
Roll with it. I don't want to look
It's
not
really
normal.
weird.
Velma's telling me it's normal.
It's for me. It's really weird. So anyway, yeah, obviously that's what she does. She sticks on some leather and, you know, awkwardly talks sexy to Seth Green. This makes Seth, as well as the audience, very uncomfortable. Meanwhile, Shaggy and Scooby arrive at the... What is it? How do you say it? The faux ghost bar.
Yeah.
Faux ghost bar, where all the criminals, the gang of masked, they gather around and they talk shit about them. This bar, right? When I very first moved to Manchester, right, and I heard about the nightclub Satan's. This is what I imagined it was like when I went inside. And I was disappointed when I went in and found that it was not like that. I was disappointed, to be honest. I expected them all to be around, all criminals and fucking... I mean, that sounds bad, but you know what I mean? It makes me sad that there's no Scooby-Doo.
If anyone would like to send some seed capital our way to start a real faux ghost nightclub, I would be up for doing that.
Yeah, go on, let's do it. Scooby-Doo themed bar. But
Heck yeah. With the fucking whack-a-mole thing with all their faces on. And...
Yeah, exactly. And we'll have the
sound effects. They put that together. Like, how long have they had that like, board thing? See, I didn't realize that these were all criminals that they'd unmasked. I thought these were just people who lived in that city, and now that they all hated the gang because fake news, it's not just quickly cobbled together this perfect whack-a-mole Mystery Inc. machine.
Oh, no. Yeah, no, they're all people that they unmask. Because I think the people he names just before they go in are real ghosts from the show. I think.
Oh, okay. But they're in that bar at the end and they're all dancing together.
Exactly! Yeah. Oh, I say this at the end. It really pissed me off. Like, why do they all suddenly like him again? It's really weird. It's really strange. Oh, so strange.
I think I found a nerve there.
But it baffles me. Anyway, so they go inside, right? And they go in dressed as Shizzy McCreepy and SD McCrawley. Which is amazing.
It is amazing, I agree.
My name's Shizzy McCreepy, and this is my brother, SD McCrawley. That's amazing. I love it so much. It's the bit where he goes up to the woman, and he's like, "Hello, baby." Fucking amazing.
Because that's what I was like. It dawned on me very quickly when the scene came on. I was like, "Oh wait, no, there's that woman that wants to do the fuck on Scooby-Doo," and then immediately she showed up, and then I was like, "Oh no, Scooby-Doo wants to do the fuck on that woman as well."
See, right, this is the thing though, right? This film influenced me way too much when it came to the nightlife, because I thought that this bar was what a Satan's would look like, but at the same time, I thought that what they were doing was what nightlife in general was like. So I thought when I was like 5 or something, I thought you went into a nightclub in fucking mad dress and was like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm fucking entered the whatever, you know what I mean? So I used to like practice doing it, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm gonna be well sick when I go out," you know? Fucking mad jackets and shit, you know what I mean? Oh man.
If Shaggy's Shizzy McCreepy, would you have announced yourself as Jizzy McCreepy?
Oh god, no thanks. I'm alright, I'm good, thanks. No. I'm going as fucking... I can't be SD McCrawley, what can I be instead? Because J.O. McCrawley doesn't sound as good. SD McCrawley sounds well sick.
I think Jizzy McCreepy is your best.
I don't think it is. I don't think that's something that we're going to explore any further. So, anyway, our boy McCreepy and McCrawley, they have a gander around. Scooby-Doo gets.
Oh my god! I've only just got that.
I just got Creepy Crawley as well.
It's only just dawned on me.
Really?
Yeah.
As you said it then, like McCreepy and McCrawley.
My god. Oh, alright. Okay. So, yeah, Scooby-Doo gets propositioned by some woman, and he's obviously down, but they've got a job to do. So they run into Old Man Wickles, who is sat by the bar. And, you know, man's a fucking crazy bastard. He's cracking them nuts and shit. So, my guy, Shaggy and Scooby, decide to bail. But, they decide to bail because they're not really feeling the place, you know what I mean? They just fancy a Big Mac or something like that, and they'll get an Uber home, it's fine. But then, right, SD McCrawley gets dragged into a dance where he exposes himself as a dog in a place filled with people that fucking hate them. So, you know, naturally they get chased out of the place. But
do you know what really bugged me about that scene as well, right?
What?
Is in the end he's exposed as a dog because his afro falls off. But his first couple of dance moves, the afro keeps flying up.
He literally shouts at one point as well, doesn't he? He calls Shaggy, says the name, he calls him by name, and waves to him and says, "Hi, Shaggy."
No. Do it with the accent, please, or the impression.
I've
got to do it at least once in this podcast. What?
No, I don't want to. Someone else. Go on, Jacob. You do the accent. Go on.
Why me?
I don't know.
You're clearly the biggest Scooby-Doo fan here.
Jacob.
Oh my
Jacob.
I can't do it. No. It won't happen.
It's such a hard,
My voice doesn't work like that.
voice to do, I think.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it is. I used to be able to do one when I was a kid, and all I would think about was Scooby-Doo. But like,
I mean, fair. You know
Someone will do it by the end.
But right, so this dance scene, right? I don't know why you would have, but has anyone ever seen the behind the scenes for this dance scene?
I have not.
I can sort of tell it, with like the guy in the costume, and then just like a big Scooby-Doo head was on top of him. Because his body looked real, but the head did not. The way they did it was they built the entire body, but there was no head. They just CGI'd the head, so I'm pretty sure the guy's actual head just stuck up. So he had this massive body with this massive suit on with the Scooby-Doo hands, and then he just had a fucking normal human head just chilling. I think he maybe had... Remember, like, you know, when they had that thing with, like, Thanos, where, like, they had the stick going up his back so he could meet his eye line or something? I think they might have had something like that. But no, it was literally just a guy in a massive Scooby-Doo suit, and then just his head sticking out or something like that. I mean, that's an image from, like, years ago, so you could maybe, like, fact-check it, but who knows. Right. So meanwhile, the rest of the... Scooby and Shaggy are dancing their hearts away. Well, no, not Shaggy, but while Scooby's dancing his little heart away in the club. The rest of the gang arrive at the museum, and they find it has been robbed of the rest of the costumes. Seth Green gets all pissed off and fucks off. He's like, I've got other things to deal with. Gets his fucking knuckle dusters out. And then Alicia Silverstone interviews Fred, right? So the line that he gives, right, where he says, I think Coolville sucks, right? No joke, in college, me and my mates used to quote this line all the time because we thought it had big meme potential and we wanted to turn it into a meme. So we'd be constantly going down the corridors saying things like, I think Coolville sucks, things like that, you know what I mean? Like, we tried to turn it into a meme. Yeah, I'm not saying that it was a good decision on our part. I don't know how it would have applied as a meme, but we thought it was good at the time, so we thought it was funny. There was also were you saying it to each other, or just like shouting
it
as you're walking down busy corridors?
Shouting it as we were walking down busy corridors. That's what we used to do. We shouted
so
as we
rather
walked
than like bogey, is you'd play Coolsville sucks and just shout it as loud as
Oh
you
yeah,
could.
yeah. Oh, we used to do it in the library. Oh man, we got kicked out of the library so many times because we were just shouting this fucking phrase. Ridiculous. Oh man, I didn't say I was cool in college, so it's fine. Anyway,
can we at least, if you won't do the Scooby-Doo voice, will you at least do that line correctly? Because the way he says it is amazing.
Yeah. So, how does he do it? He says it like thingy, doesn't he? He's like, I think. Oh no, I got thrown off. I think cool. It's really hard. It's that Coolsville bit. I can't get it in my mouth. Okay. Was he's like, I think Coolsville sucks.
Yeah, perfect.
That's how we used to say it as well.
You're trying to make it look like I think Coolsville sucks. Wait,
it's amazing.
Wait, don't cut that.
When does he say that? Does he say that during an interview, or do they just have him say?
So,
because that's a really specific thing
he says
to be taken out of context.
I'm not going to say anything. Because you are trying to make it like I think Coolsville sucks. I
think
Coolsville sucks.
Idiot.
Yeah.
Played himself.
Yeah, literally.
What a moron.
It's like fucking DJ Khaled should have stepped in like, congratulations, you played yourself. That's what should have happened.
There's the meme potential you've been looking for all these years.
Wow.
That's it. That's the next thing, I'm telling you. Bloody Fred. Anyway. Yeah, so obviously Seth Green gets all pissed off and Velma reveals that she actually has the jumper underneath. That must have been well warm, I'm not going to lie.
God, yeah.
I refuse to believe that she had that on the whole time. Oh, that's fucking leather, you know what I mean? You'd be able to see the creases, just saying. Weird. Anyway, Daphne.
You were looking, were you?
She gets a bit, yeah. Oh, I'm back in the old day, baby. You know what I mean? Yeah. So Daphne gets a bit pissed off, and she confronts Alicia Silverstone. She accuses her of being Doctor Doom, but conveniently, Doctor Doom shows up, confirming to us and Daphne that she isn't Doctor Doom, so it's fine. Meanwhile, Shaggy and Scooby run into Seth Green, who is doing some questionable things in an alleyway, and then after he freaks them out a bit by that really weird bit where he like roars at them for no reason.
Yeah.
Like, well, scary, you know what I mean? Seth Green's a fucking madman. He's just angry because Robot Chicken get cancelled in this universe and he has to become a media creator. That's what's wrong with him. Anyway, so he follows, but then you see Old Man Wickles leaving the bar, and they follow him to an abandoned mine town where, did they make it right? This is the thing. This thing where they're in a bush and he turns around and he says, "Damn bush is screaming at me again." Is that a Vietnam joke? Because I couldn't tell.
I feel like it's supposed to be, yeah.
I missed on that. I thought, it's just an old man who's a bit crazy.
But like, I have a weird feeling that it's a fucking Vietnam joke, and I'm like,
There's so many jokes in this that like hit better when you're an adult, I guess. Like all kids' movies have them. Like just in that last scene where Shaggy's like, "Let's make like this guy's personality and split." I was like, "That's funny."
Yeah,
very good.
That is
That's
funny.
amazing.
It's a funny joke. Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, anyway, so after the Vietnam joke, that's all good stuff. They go exploring the abandoned mine in town, and they run into one of the one-eyed skeletons, which, they obviously run away from, and they discover a secret lift. Woo, Scooby-Doo, secret lift. And then Daphne, Velma, and Fred arrive at the abandoned mine and catch Mr. Wickles talking to a bunch of men in suits and accuse him of creating the monsters. Turns out, however, the men are actually investors, and what they have actually done is just destroyed an old man's dream. So the question is, who is the real bad guy in this film? I think it's the fucking kids.
What? Now, hang on. The old man's dream was to put kids to work with free labour.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
I didn't say that it was a good dream, but at least he has a dream in his old age.
It's more like the Mystery Incorporated did a bad thing but did a good thing accidentally, stumbled into doing a good thing.
Stumbled into fucking getting rid of free child labour, what I mean?
Why aren't we not focused on arresting the 5 or 6 men who were quite happy to fund child slave labour?
Well, I mean, they're just the men in suits with briefcases, so we have to assume that they're evil corporate men, you know what I mean? That's what movies have taught us, you know what I mean? Like, they've got suits, they've got briefcases. Going
after people in costumes, but no one goes after the real criminals, do they?
Exactly. Damn capitalism. So, anyway, after they do that, the investor guys fuck off, and they're like, "Sorry, mate. There's other child labour opportunities for us elsewhere, all over the world. It's fine." And then Shaggy and Scooby travel down the secret lift, and they discover a lab chilling at the bottom. So, naturally, because it's Shaggy and Scooby, they find a fridge and they eat whatever's inside, and we get a big old sequence with them turning into a whole bunch of different things. And I'm not gonna lie, right? That bit where Shaggy, when I was a kid, right, that bit where he turned into a woman, it scared the shit out of me. Because even back then, I could see the terrible CGI, but then I didn't know that it was terrible CGI. So I just saw his head doing this weird floating thing above a body, and it scared me.
It scared the shit out of me last week when I watched it. As a 23-year-old, I hated every second. It was
terrifying.
Oh god, I'm looking at it now, and it is terrifying, isn't it?
Scary.
It's not good.
Scary. It's what kind of vibe it gives me. It gives me that same kind of vibe that's in the first one when they all swap body and Fred goes into Daphne's body. And he's like, I can look at myself naked.
Yeah.
It gives me the same kind of vibe, and I was like, I'm surprised the same joke isn't in there. But I feel like it would have been very weird if it was Shaggy. You don't get that kind of... I don't know if anyone remembers, right? A couple of years ago, they did a Scooby-Doo spin-off. Not spin-off, it was a Scooby-Doo, like a new Scooby-Doo show. And it was called, like, Mystery Incorporated or something.
I do remember
and
it, yeah.
they had Shaggy and Velma, like, going out and getting together and stuff.
What?
And it was really weird. There was, like, a whole side, because it wasn't structured like the normal Scooby-Doo is. It was, like, an ongoing show. So, like, it was an overall story. And I think each episode maybe might have had a new monster or something. But there was, like, an overall story about how there was an original Mystery Inc. team or something. And they all disappeared and things like this. And there was, like, a story
the one where the villain was called, like, just Mr. E. That was all they knew it
Yeah,
was.
yeah, and then Mr. E turns... Yeah, he's called Mr. E, yeah. But he turns out to be one of the old... He turns out to be the Shaggy-esque character from the old Mystery Inc. team something. And they all show up and it's... Sorry about that. I'm sorry to devastating spoiler right there. Spoiler warning. There was actually a side plot, like an ongoing kind of story arc between... It was like kind of like a love triangle between Velma, Shaggy, and Scooby, and it was really weird.
Sorry, no, hang on. You
not in like a...
Either I misheard you or you cut out. Did you say there's a love triangle between Velma, Shaggy, and Scooby, or did you say there's a love triangle and Velma is shagging Scooby? Which one did you say?
Right, so both of them do actually apply to what's happening, to be honest. So, Velma and Shaggy are like together, and he earns his nickname with Velma. But at the same time, Scooby is a bit jealous because he's losing his mate. It's like when your mate gets a girlfriend but you don't have one, so you're like really jealous and you can't spend time with them anymore. That's the plot. So that was fun to watch as a child.
Now that sounds weird, but who of us have seen the version of the show where it's literally just those three and sometimes Scrappy-Doo? There was like...
I've not. Oh no, you know what? I've not seen it, but I remember them.
Maybe in the 90s, maybe in the 80s, it was like just...
Yeah.
I actually think that's one of the best combinations of just remove the baggage. Daphne and Fred kind of aren't doing anything ever, you know? Only the stars, the woman who solves the mysteries, and the comedy duo.
Yeah.
And they don't fuck in that one. So
no, they don't. They do it this other one.
It was a good fun time.
I mean, they are fucking teenagers, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not surprised it fucking came up originally at some point. But if any of you guys seen, there's a live action film that came out either last year or the year before, and it's just about Daphne and Velma. I think it's called Daphne and Velma or something. I've not seen it, but...
Are you sure this isn't like a porn parody?
No,
yeah, I was
I've seen films like that, but...
That's what I thought it was at first, but it's not. It's like a teen comedy with just them two.
Weird.
With none of the other characters
I've heard
in.
about this.
Oh, it's not. It does not look good. It looks so cheap and shitty. It's ridiculous. And then also there's like a fan. Yeah, it's not good.
2018.
Yeah, it looks like a Disney movie, like a Disney Channel movie, but worse. It's terrible. It looks terrible.
Yeah, it looks awful.
But so God, I can't remember where I was up to now.
Well, while you grab your bearings, let me comment with our newest reoccurring segment. So last week we introduced the concept of the happiest sad character championship, right? I thought I'd keep it up. I had to think before going into the movie. Who would be a good contender to our champion, Bella Swan? So she's insecure in herself. She doesn't think she's good for love. She's sad. She thinks all the other members of the crew are better than her. It's the Dink. Velma Dinkley is our newest contender.
So that's her actual second name. What the fuck?
Tail of the tape. Once again, so champion Bella Swan. She would literally rather be dead than be here. Versus the smartest person in any room, Velma Dinkley. I think it's like Dinkle Boss, but like it's not even close to a word. Place
Are we deciding who smiles the most? Who's the happiest?
Yes, who's the most happiest
character?
sad character? Who smiles the most out of the two? Bella or Velma? I'll remind you, the champion, 35.
I'm going to say, you know what, I'm going to stick with the champion, you know. I don't remember Velma smiling that much in this film.
Yeah, I don't remember Velma smiling all too much.
Okay, 2 for Bella.
I remember Bella Swan smiling too much. I reckon
True,
Velma
true.
is... She has to be happier. Surely.
Okay. 2 for Bella, 1 for Velma. So the champion was on 35. Velma clocked in 38. Ladies and gentlemen, a new champion. The Dink.
Well done.
Wow. Oh my god. Oh, imagine that like wrestling show, the Dink versus the Swan. That'd be like, that'd be insane. That'd be a mad
That
thing
sounds
to watch,
terrifying.
It does. Madness. But yeah, I remembered what we were up to because we were talking about all these alternate versions, and it was the bit where they're transforming into alternate versions of themselves. And obviously Scooby turns into, what's his name? The Wily Coyote. Tasmanian Devil? Who's Wily Coyote? Oh, he's the fucking one that gets killed constantly, isn't it? By the bird? Oh, man. What was the one that he turns into called again?
Tasmanian Devil. Tasmanian Devil. This sequence made me realise that I would have been perfectly happy if Scooby-Doo was just a cartoon in these movies instead of the CGI.
Yeah. It would have been really weird. It would have been like Roger Rabbit, Scooby-Doo. But then they could have had loads of Scooby-Doo characters in it. Oh man, missed opportunity, James Gunn. Get on it. But then, yeah, so they turn into... And then, obviously, we get the last reincarnation of them. Scooby turns into a really smart scientist guy who's obviously British because he's really smart. And Shaggy turns into the opposite. A really muscular, stupid guy who's really muscular, but like... He's like, pew, he's a fucking weirdo. And then they build a bomb, but Shaggy throws it at that door and it blows up, getting the attention of the rest of the gang. Come down to find them like in a wall. But right, this is like, right, you know that bit where they're in the wall and they're like in the fucking wall like this?
Yeah.
Did anyone else notice that Shaggy's arm cuts into the door, but like it's really weird? I notice it every single time I watch it. And once you notice it, but like it's like they built the set and then stuck Matthew Lillard up there, but realised the arms were too big, so just cut a piece out of him. And now I'm gonna have to find it.
I've not noticed.
Yeah, I can't find it on Google.
But right, just people watch that scene later and wait for the end when they're in the wall and look at his arm. It's really weird. I'll show you later. It's very strange. Anyway, they go down and then Scooby turns them back into their normal selves. Yeah, and obviously the bomb that they made blew a hole in that metal door. So they go in and they discover the monster making machine. Velma, without any indication whatsoever, instantly decides that Seth Green is the bad guy and gets all sad. DJ, Shaggy and Scooby play some sick bars on that colourful control panel, and that's connected to the monster machine. And
It's like a Simon Says machine.
It is, yeah. And they accidentally use it to turn all the costumes into real ghosts. And the monsters are unleashed. It's the name of the film. So...
A dramatic reveal.
Yeah.
That's the name of the film.
It is. Yeah, so the whole gang bails and they take the control panel with them. And then Dr. Doom appears and tells them that the monsters to go after him and get it back. After a very delightful CGI chase scene, the gang escapes in the mystery machine. You know, it's all fun and games. The bloody, what would you even call that? There must be a sport where you like go down a mountain on a fucking piece of something.
Sledding,
yeah. You do some sick sledding down the fucking
Skeleton.
mountain. Oh yeah, skeleton. Yeah, you do some fucking mad, Cool Running style sledding down the. It's like, oh man, Cool Running, what a film. They do some sick thingy, and then obviously, you know, all CGI and they crap. The only thing that's real in this entire film is obviously Matthew Lillard, which is, you know, fun. And
Everyone else is fake. Freddie
Everyone
Prinze
else is fake,
Jr.
yeah.
CGI. So
whole thing?
Michelle Gellar CGI.
CGI. They didn't want to come back, so all they did was provide the voices. But Matthew Lillard is so dedicated to this role that he was willing to provide his live action appearance. Fucking Warner Brothers, you know what I mean? Anyway, so elsewhere, as the gang escape, a massive fuck off ghost ship flies through the city of Coolsville, and Doctor Doom's chilling on its like mast, and he's shouting down to the civilians, telling them that if they don't find Mr. Inc., then the monsters will make their lives uncomfortable. What exactly does everyone think he means by that statement? Make their lives uncomfortable? Because
just make their Wi-Fi really fucking slow.
Maybe,
like, not cut it out, but just make it slow.
Just
They'll
make it slow,
occasionally break into someone's house and move everything just 2 inches to the left.
just like take someone's TV remote and like return it 2 days later. And they'd be like, it's fucking right there, Jeff, I told you it was right there. See, because when I heard this statement, I thought of two things. I imagined someone walking into Starbucks, right, and asking for a caramel frappuccino, and instead the Black Knight turns around, laughs, and gives them a latte instead. Or, alternatively, someone goes into Greg's for the lunch, and the man 49 is stood in front of him, and they take the last sausage roll. That's what I thought he meant when he was like, we're going to make lives uncomfortable. Because I don't know about you guys, but when someone takes the last sausage roll, that makes me pretty uncomfortable.
If they had a scene of the minor 49er looking someone dead in the eye while eating a sausage roll, 10 out of 10. Honestly, this movie.
Oh, that should have been like thingy. That should have been like a Greg's advert or something. You know what I mean? For this film, like for the product placement.
My question for all of you though, during this scene, when the ghost ship arrives in town, which I thought was cool when I was a kid, I still think it's cool now, to be fair. But why does it look exactly like Ghostbusters 2016?
I've not seen it.
The effect, the colours, the CGI, it's exactly the same. It came out 12 years after the fact.
They must have just had the assets on file and they were like, go on then, it's fine. No one will notice. No one's going to come watch this film anyway, so it's fine. But yeah, anyway, so after the Man in 49 steals a couple of sausage rolls, the Mr. Inc. gang head to the high school clubhouse, where Fred gets a bit upset, but he believes that talking is for wimps, and it is time to take action. So I guess he's doing that silently then, if he's not talking. So they head inside, and they take a trip down memory lane. I gotta say, right, the first thing I thought, I didn't think this when I was a kid, right, but when I saw this clubhouse now, watching it this week, it came on, and the first thing that popped into my head was, oh man, a couple of virginities got lost in this clubhouse, you know what I mean? I was like, oh, what? Oh no. It was when I saw that there was a bed behind in one of the corners, and I was like, Eve. And just to make it even worse, I can 100% guarantee that hidden somewhere in that clubhouse is some weed. I can guarantee it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Shaggy is hidden weed somewhere. They're all finding all their different things, and Shaggy just puts his hand into like a drawer and like sticks in his pocket, like, oh, wondering where that got to.
Does weed keep like for that long? Would it?
That's a good point. I don't know.
How many years has it been?
We don't. This
know.
is the thing, is we don't know.
Years, right?
It must have been years.
Because it looks all overgrown and stuff.
It does. And yet all the stuff's still there. In my experience, when things like that exist, everyone just goes inside. So I don't know how they managed to keep that place untouched for all these years.
Right.
There should be graffiti and shit all over it. And all the shit should be like...
Some used needles sprinkled out on the floor.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. Literally. Oh god, imagine. Anyway, yeah, so it's filled with all their old stuff from high school. and we get a nice flashback to the time when they were happily playing and showing off their frisbee skills in the park. Good old times. So as soon as they come back to reality, they instantly figure out that they can use all their old shit to rewire the console, and you can kill the monsters instead of making them. And they do this while we get the most 2004 song they could have possibly found to use as the montage music. Bullshit. I actually tried to look up what song that was, and I could find it, but I couldn't find the normal version, because the one that's in the film it's labeled as the clean version. So I don't know what it says in the original song.
Ooh.
But who knows? But obviously Shaggy and Scooby aren't involved, and they're outside wishing that they knew where they did hide that weed, when suddenly Captain Cutler arrives and harpoons the back of the van as they're trying to escape. Luckily for the group, they perform a hit and run and manage to escape. But before they know it, all the monsters fucking start descending on them. Right. And my issue with this, it's kind of on them, because they have a van that sticks out like a sore thumb, you know what I mean? It's bright blue, it has their name on the side. They could have swapped cars, you know what I mean? I refuse to believe that none of them have cars, and that they all just, each morning, they all just pick each other up and fucking go to the office together.
But they all look like that.
They all got the same car.
Yep.
Oh, so they all have just the Mr. Ink wrapping on it. So that limo from the beginning was actually just Daphne's car.
Yeah.
Just driving the thingy. It's just branding all over the place. Do you reckon they sell like merchandise within the universe?
I think they do. I think there's...
Surely.
Is it like Saints Row?
In Info Ghost, when they're playing like the darts, they all have like the promo shots from the first movie. So in theory, they sold those as like 8x10s and stuff in the universe, you know?
Nice. So yeah, it's actually like, I imagine it's like, you know, like the Saints are in Saints Row 3. That's what I imagine it's like. They've got brands and they've got like Scooby-Doo's on. Because I always wondered, right, Scooby Snacks, are they his brand, or did they name him after the brand of Scooby Snacks? Because I'm just realising they don't appear in this film.
I think they named him after the snack.
So they named him after the snack then?
Yeah, because I'm sure, because in Scoob, like when the trailer first came out, Shaggy finds him on a beach, just lost and by himself, and he's eating just these Scooby snacks. And he's like, "Oh, do you like these Scooby snacks too?" And the dog's like, "Yep, I'm a dog, and I can talk to you." So he's like, "Oh, here, have some Scooby snacks. Let's call you Scooby." I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
So,
I think.
I always thought Scooby snacks were a dog's food, and that Shaggy was a weirdo who liked dog treats. But maybe
that's what I thought as well.
Maybe they're actually
there was some
like
theory
a human food.
They were like edibles, like weed.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
In that case, though, they'll be fucking dead. You're not supposed to do edibles like they do fucking Scooby snacks.
Oh.
Wait, so you're telling me that, right? Because Daphne's always the one who has the fucking Scooby snacks. Is she the dealer? Is that why she's so rich?
Yeah.
She's a drug dealer. And that's how she keeps Scooby and Shaggy like in line. They give them like, it's like conditioning. Yeah. And they give him the snacks, and it's like Scoob, these snacks are so good. It's like, let's solve some mysteries, bro. And then the dog, like, that's why he thinks the dog's talking, because he's high as fuck all the time.
Yep.
And they all just look at him like, fucking weirdo, talk to that dog again. What a fucking weirdo. Anyway, so I can't remember what. Yeah. So the van's not very subtle. But anyway, they escape and they get to the abandoned mine where Fred gets involved in a Bon Jovi fueled duel with the Black Knight.
Is that not your favourite part of every Scooby-Doo episode? The one where Fred would get on a bike and have a joust. It's the best bit.
To the newest rock record of the day.
You sound like a 70-year-old man. You're
these kids,
damn kids. and roll. But they don't even know who Dean Martin is. Oh, back in my day. Oh man, I actually think, I actually said something really old-fashioned the other day. There was on my YouTube right. Remember when Vine was a thing, and they used to do those things where it's like vines that fucking help me sleep at night and shit like that, videos that. Yeah. I saw one the other day that was like TikToks that helped me whatever, and I was like, these kids these days don't know what they're missing with Vine, and I instantly was like, oh fucking hell, how old am I? Jesus Christ, these kids don't know what Vine is. Well, grim. But yeah, anyway. So Fred is a young hooligan who's listening to Bon Jovi while he deals with the night. Daphne takes on a literal ball of electricity and is shot across the yard and lands next to Fred, where they have a heartfelt "This is it."
Was she just gonna fight it? By the way, was she just gonna start punching it and beating it up? Like she takes like a stance, like, oh, I'm gonna beat up this literal, physical, massive, glowing ball of electricity. How did she think that fight was gonna go?
See, I think, right, there's a whole subplot to this about all the characters accepting that these are actual ghosts, and that they have to find within themselves that, no, I can't, I'm trying to think of something. I don't think there's
actually
sort of bullshit on the spot.
I'll give you that one. With that explains Daphne's act. Because when that ghost showed up when I was a kid, right, I remember thinking, like, actively, that's it, that's the one. That's the best one. How would you ever stop that? And I know they do stop it, but like, it's literally just made of constant electricity. You could not get near it. It'll destroy everything it comes near. Don't bother with the rest of the ghosts. Just revive that one.
Yeah. It's insane.
Also, it's the best looking one. It still holds up, I think.
I always thought the 10,000 volt ghost was like, he was my favourite one when I was growing up, because he's well set. The thing I always wondered though, right, when they... Right, well, I mean, there's two things here, because at what point did they stop thinking that these were real ghosts? After, like, the fifth guy where they unmask him, and it's like, oh, it's fucking just another guy again, boring. And also, with this particular ghost, right, if they thought that he was a literal ball of electricity, back when it was just a guy in like, a suit, why didn't they just, like, turn the, like electrify him or something, and then it would just kill the guy in the suit, you know what I mean?
Not murderers, Joe.
Yeah, I know, but as far as they're concerned, this is a real electric ghost. So they don't know there's a guy in there.
Well, if you electrify it, you might make it more strong, more powerful.
That's true.
True.
You don't want to give it any power.
But in the back of the mind, they should be thinking that this is going to be a real person, because it's fucking Scooby-Doo, you know what I mean? Like, fucking weird. Anyway.
Well, I don't know, because there's the one, isn't there? Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, where they are real ghosts.
Well, if it's a film, then there are actually real ghosts, but if it's a TV show, then they're not. That's the general rule.
How are they supposed to know if they're in a TV show or a film or not? Oh, right, it's the movie.
The point
all the monsters, they're real.
The point I'm making, Joe, is that sometimes it is real, and I think they have to treat it like, what if it's like that again?
Oh, see, then it kind of undermines... So, right, in this universe, then, are the real ghosts exist, and all the people who are dressing up are doing it because they know real ghosts exist and people are going to believe them? Is that the kind of thing we're going for here? Because I think that makes sense now. So I always wondered why people actually believed that these people in costumes are real ghosts. But if real ghosts exist in the world, then it makes sense why they believe them.
I think so.
Anything.
Agree.
Fair enough.
That's the easiest explanation.
We've just figured out Scooby-Doo. It's fine.
Problem solved.
So, anyway, Fred and Daphne are having a heartfelt moment. And meanwhile, Velma, Shaggy and Scooby run into the Skeleton Boys. And she tells Shaggy and Scooby to take the control panel while she distracts them. But, Shaggy, he's a bit, his confidence is knocked a bit. He tells her that he doesn't think he's capable of it. And she basically admits to him that she wishes that she also tried weed in high school to chill her out a bit. And that she admires him or whatever. So, all the gang get distracted with all the different monsters. Shaggy and Scooby are chased by the man of 49er. And they kill him with a fart joke. Velma gets chased by the Skelly boys and jumps into a hole. And Fred and Daphne introduce the Black Knight to a dangerous form of BDSM by clipping a jumper cable to his balls and then throwing the other end into the 10,000 needles.
Give it a go.
Killing them both. So, there you go. Fun all around. Fun for the family. So, anyway.
I don't think so.
I mean, depends what kind of family, I guess. Anyway.
What's that supposed to mean?
Oh god, I don't know. Velma finds herself in a mine shaft where she finds a shrine to our boy Jacob. No, hold on. No, Jacobo, sorry. And,
I was going
to shrine to
To be
Jacobo.
fair,
remember
his
this.
name is just my name with an O at the end.
It actually is. That's why, because I just missed the O off in my notes, so it literally just says, she finds a shrine to our boy Jacob. So, there you go. Pictures of Jacob in the shrine all over the place. There's someone at the shrine with her. Oh my god. It's Hollywood actor turned museum curator Seth Green. Velma instantly accuses him of being Dr. Doom and runs off, only to end up falling through the floor of a walkway and is left dangling over like a 5-foot drop or something. But she's all like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna die!" And Seth Green helps her up, but then is instantly kidnapped by the pterodactyl ghost. Because of course, and then Fred and Daphne conveniently show up literally seconds later, to a point where they probably heard him screaming as he was taken, and tell her that the only way to help him now is to reconnect to the control panel. But Scooby and Shaggy have it. Speaking of Shaggy and Scooby, they lock themselves in a room thinking they've escaped all the ghosts, when suddenly the cotton candy glob appears, who, by the way, is not a monster that was in the show and was created for this film. Fun fact for you.
You'd think it would have gotten a bit more of an introduction then.
Yeah, you'd think, yeah. They introduced the guy, though, right, fun fact here, the guy who is the cotton candy glob, because in the lore of the film, he was an actual ghost that they fought. He just never actually appeared in the actual show. And we do actually see the guy who was the cotton candy blob earlier in the film. So do you remember, and I only know this because I watched the special features years ago, right? And do you remember in the bar scene when his afro flies off his head and lands on that guy's table and splats him all over the face? And then he stands up and he's like, and it's his beating best pal, Shaggy Rogers. You know that guy?
Yeah.
That guy is the cotton candy blob. That's what he was arrested for being, according to the behind the scenes lore. So there you go. Fun fact for you.
That is a fun fact.
The funnest part of that fact is that you've retained that for this many years.
Yeah. I did pretty bad in my GCSEs, but I remember that, so it's fine. But yeah, anyway, so Shaggy and Scooby literally murder this person and reunite with the gang, feeling pretty happy with themselves. The gang then run into the monster-making room, only to be stopped by all of the monsters. The town monster traps them, and just when it looks like the whole gang's going to be smothered to death, Scooby finds a fire extinguisher and pulls a Mr. Freeze while listening to an extremely 2004 rendition of the Scooby-Doo theme. That's nice and fun.
Yeah.
Doing tricks, and he's freezing things, and he's saying his name with spaces in the middle. It's all good.
Nah, man, that's well cool. Where it's like, who do you think you are? Scooby! Scooby! Dude. It's great.
It isn't, yeah. And he puts it down, presses the button, and all the monsters die. You know, he uses his famous... He ends up using all those famous frisbee skills from the flashback. Foreshadowing. Clever filmmaking from James Gunn right there. And he gets the control panel and he reconnects it to the machine. He kills all the monsters. Dr. Doom gets really pissed off, runs down the broken hallway, falls down that hole that Velma made, and hangs himself. The gang celebrates, leaves, and the film ends. That's it. No, I wish that was the actual ending. I wish, though. God, believe me. No, they actually go outside, and
they've got to do the bit, Joe.
What bit? Yeah, I know.
Meddling kids,
I
unmasked.
just wish that it ended. I know. It would have been so much better if he just died and then would have been a different.
And then it plays "Hurt" by Johnny Cash.
Would have been amazing. That would have been a good ending. That, to be fair. I mean,
transitions to black and white, and then
to be fair, right?
Black.
Literally, right? They're in a mine shaft. No one's gonna find the body. So. Just saying.
You're talking like it's some experience.
But yeah, anyway, so yeah, they actually go outside and they find out that Dr. Doom was actually Alicia Silverstone, but not really, because Alicia Silverstone was actually Jacob. No, fuck. Hold on, Jacob Jacobo, Jonathan Jacobo. Turns out it was actually Jacob Jacobo. No, fuck off. Oh! It was actually our boy Jacobo, which means Alicia Silverstone is still a Hollywood actor elsewhere, and that he was just using a mask, a clueless mask that he bought in the shop. And that he did not die in prison, and he actually escaped, and was conveniently photographed and published in a newspaper without anyone noticing. So, good stuff. We get the famous line, and I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling kids. Except we don't, because he doesn't say it like that. He says, I would have got away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling punks and your dumb dog. So, thank you for that.
It's weird, isn't it? The little stuff that keeps getting shit. Like Velma, things keep going wrong with Velma, and she says, oh, brother, the line is jinkies!
It's bad, isn't it? I remember her saying "oh brother" in the thingy though, in the cartoon though.
Really?
Yeah.
It's the bit where her glasses fall off, and she's like trying to feel around for them. I was like, oh, she's gonna say the thing. And I don't think she does. Like I was hoping she'd say, oh,
my glasses.
I can't see without my glasses. Nothing.
So many lies. I mean, if they're gonna lean so heavily into the soft material, then do it. You know what I mean? Don't use some of it and then not use all of it. You gotta get those zoinks in there, and you gotta get those jinkies.
Like this, it's not winning any awards. It ain't winning any Oscars. Just commit. Just
give me a jinkies.
Oh man, I want a jinkies. I want a zoinks. I mean, I know they says zoinks a few times, but
Zoinks.
oh man. Anyway, yeah. So he says 60s. The line, but not really. Velma and Seth Green, they end up getting together, and everyone, loves the whole gang again. Shaggy puts on a piece of one of the costumes, and then Scooby beats him within an inch of his life with a 200-pound piece of film and equipment. Like, I'd be pissed off. I'd make him pay. And then obviously they all celebrate by heading to that bar where all the occupants previously hated all of their guts to a point where they made custom machines to literally bash their heads in, and they made custom dartboards, but now everyone loves them again, so it's fine. And then the film ends with a dance montage because it's 2004, and they had to choose between that or a blooper reel. So there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's that dance montage that actually gave Velma the edge. That's where she snuck in. It was one extra. It would have been a tie, honestly, without the dance montage.
Yeah. So there you go. See? So there you go. That's Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed. Written by James Gunn and directed by that guy that I forgot to get the name of. So apologies to him.
Whew, okay, so yes, like Joe says, that was Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed. What we're going to do now is going to go round in a circle and individually give it scores out of 10, and I'm going to use maths to get an overall score out of 100 and see where it ranks on the list of the best to worst movies of all time. Amelia, final thoughts?
Yeah, it's been fun to talk about this one. Like you say, it's not a great movie, but as far as kids movies go, it was fun, and like you say, it's definitely one from my childhood, and it's got this Scooby-Doo, I feel like it has such untapped potential that you could do a full-on universe with this whole thing. All the different monsters, everything. And so, I feel like they kind of tried to do that here, but, they could, say, having certain lines in it, they could have taken that a little bit further. But it's a fun kids film. We like a good cheeky adult joke every now and again. And I think it gets an extra point from me because I find it cute that Daphne and Fred, the actors and actress, whatever they're called, I can't think of their names. Sarah Michelle Gellar and the other one.
Freddie Prinze Jr.
They're actually married in real life, which is heckin' cute. So for me,
Sweet.
I'm going to have to give this one a 6.
Amazing. Jacob.
Yeah, this is just... It's just fine. If this was on, I probably wouldn't turn it off, but I probably wouldn't pay it too much more attention either. It's not horrifically bad. It's just sort of like kid-level cringy. So it's not like they were trying to be too ambitious with this. I feel like there's a lot of untapped potential with Scooby-Doo. Like, as we said, they've milked it for like not quite a million TV shows, but it's had spin-offs and reboots and stuff forever. And this movie is just, I don't know, it wasn't... Yeah, it's not brilliant, but not terrible. I'm going to go straight up the middle with 5.
5. Joe.
Yeah, I'm kind of like thinking the same. Like, it's the thing with this film is there's a lot of films like this that are like remakes of things that try and take it way too seriously. Whereas with this one, especially this one, the first one is a bit, the first one they suffer from it a bit because they try and make it a bit serious. But with this one, they know that it's a fucking Scooby-Doo live action film, you know what I mean? Like, just go mad with it, and they kind of do. And you kind of just embrace it. Like, he literally embraces the entire of the original show, and that's the whole point. And it's just ridiculous, but it's still kind of like, if it's on, I'm going to watch it just because. And it's just fucking fun to laugh at. And I was gonna say something similar to what Amelia said, right? This universe, the Scooby-Doo universe, I think, right, if they did something with these characters, and they set it in the 60s, but they did a more... I don't want to say like what they did with fucking Riverdale or something. But you know what I mean? You go a bit thingy with it.
There,
don't go that way with it. But they do like a proper like 60s set kind of detective show with kids, and kind of somewhere in the middle. They're not going so far as to doing fucking cult shit like they do in Riverdale, but it's not quite as weird and thingy as it is. It kind of has the shadow of 1960s America over it and stuff. I think it'd be an interesting concept.
And it would be called Coolsville.
It would. Oh, man, yes. Oh, yes, we could start throwing in all the other Warner Brothers properties in there. Like Batman. Oh, God, no. Do you remember that episode of Scooby-Doo that show where he meets the celebrities and he meets Batman? Oh, yes. Beautiful.
Is Scooby-Doo owned by Hanna-Barbera, really quick?
Yes, Hanna-Barbera cartoon.
Get Yogi Bear in there as well, just saying.
There you go,
see?
Yeah, exactly.
You've got all these other...
I don't know how you do... I suppose you've got a talking dog, haven't you? So Yogi Bear's not...
He's not your average bear. So, that'd be sick.
There you go. See, perfect. Perfect concept. Come on, Warner Brothers, get on it. And hire us to do it. Anyway, I'd probably give it... I'd give it a 6, probably, because it's good. I enjoy it. I like to watch it. I wouldn't watch it on repeat, but it's a fun thing that I'll probably watch for, like, a long time.
Yeah, I agree. It's obviously not great, but it's not like they were aiming for high class filmmaking and missed. I think they nailed what they were going for. The worst bit about it consistently is the CGI. Like the Skelly things, that I like them. They don't look good, but you can tell that the animators have fun kind of animating all the different bones and stuff. But like, okay, so I didn't have a real copy of this movie on hand, and it's not on any streaming services, so I acquired a version. Is it? Well, I don't have Now TV.
Oh, fair.
What can you do for now?
Yeah, for this segment, you do.
So I acquired it, right, and my stream kept pausing, and you were never supposed to pause any frame that had Scooby-Doo on it. And it kept happening, and I had to keep staring at it for like 6 seconds at a time until it played. Gets to you, man. I blink, I see him. Some of the weird characterizations are a bit odd, but like ultimately, yeah, this is just a good fun movie, and it's exactly the sort of thing that properties like Scooby-Doo should be adapted for. And I'm keenly aware that it's not for me, but it's fine. In 2004, when it came out, it absolutely was for me. So nostalgia is playing a big part of it. But I enjoy this movie. I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm going to give it a 7, which is very generous.
Nice.
But this movie makes me happy. This movie just does make me happy. Which gives us an overall score of... Oh, shit, I've put one too many numbers in. Of 60 out of 100.
Oh no! Oh, that sounds like a familiar number.
Okay, it's not that familiar, right? We've had it once. We've had once before 60 out of 100. So
What is it?
Uh-oh.
Is it going to be something really good?
how has this happened, Amelia? Amelia, if you if it came down to it, gun to your head,
Okay.
what's a better movie? Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed or Vertigo?
Vertigo, I'm sorry.
Hitchcock's masterpiece. Okay, so
I can't do classic cinema that dirty. I am sorry. I stand for it.
one for Vertigo. Jacob.
They're just so different. what am I supposed to measure
They're
this
both detective movies.
on? I remember
Who's got a fart
I didn't
joke?
rate Vertigo very well, I don't think. Or I did, I can't remember. It was... What? You see...
Something's gone wrong
both of
here.
them- Yeah, something's gone wrong big time. If Vertigo was on, I probably wouldn't turn it off because I've watched it before.
Right.
If Scooby-Doo 2 was on, I wouldn't turn it off because it was just kind of a fun time.
Right.
So, I think I prefer Scooby-Doo 2.
Don't do this, guys. We can't be proper film critics or whatever the heck we are if Scooby-Doo.
I want to remind all our viewers that this list is available to view on full on IMDb. So whatever crime we commit today will be out there forever. Joe.
Okay, so what's better? Hitchcock's masterpiece or the film which the director, I can't even remember his name.
You look so pissed.
I'm just waiting
You look
if I
genuinely
condemn
pissed
him
off.
as a friend or not.
So, the thing is, right, if I was in my living room and on one channel Vertigo was on...
Don't do what Jacob's just done.
No. No, but my answer's different to Jacob's because if Vertigo was on, I would leave the room and turn off the TV. But if Scooby-Doo was on, I would sit and watch it. So, I'm very sorry to dishonour the memory of Alfred Hitchcock by picking a CGI dog film over his masterpiece, but I'm going to have to pick Scooby-Doo, I'm really sorry.
Well, yeah, it doesn't really matter what I would have said. That's kind of locked it in. Do I confess to my crime? I'd pick Scooby-Doo as well. So, places.
This is going to come back and, like, hurt us one day, you know. Someone's going to come back and be like, oh, these aren't real film people. They picked Scooby-Doo over Vertigo.
You're going to be offered a job and they're going to go, like, oh, do you know what? I'm really sorry, Joe. We can't offer you this job. Fuck you and fuck Scooby-Doo. And then you just be told to leave and you'll be like, oh, shit.
If we ever get to make any of the things we want to make, it will instantly be like, people will shit on it immediately being like, Scooby-Doo, it's just Scooby-Doo, boys! Scooby-Doo, boys!
I'll just be like in an interview and they'll be looking down at their iPad and look at me and they're like, so Joe, what's your opinion on Vertigo? It's like, it's like, I think it's a mystery. A mystery, the choices you've made in the past. related to Vertigo. Oh man, bad. But there we go.
So that places Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed as the current 27th best movie of all time, which still keeps it in the lower kind of like, it's still technically in the bottom 10 right now. However, it is higher than both Vertigo and Free Fire. So apologies as well go out to Ben Wheatley. So yeah, we're doing a good service to the world. So brings us to the most important part of the show and finding out what we're going to be watching next week. So similar to the vein of Amelia and Joe's picks in the past couple of weeks, I wanted to give us something fun but bad. Something that's like this isn't up there with like the kind of Z-list like Troll 2 era films, but it's still considered one of the best bad movies of all time. And I think there's an argument could be made that it's our first video game movie, because I don't think we've done another one. So I want to watch Street Fighter starring Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Not seen it.
Why? Why? Why, Sam? Why?
So you're saying, Rana, hang on. Are you saying that because you've seen it and you know what it's like, or that you've heard that it's bad?
I've seen it a long time ago and it was trash.
It is, but it's a lot of, I'll stand by this movie, man. I'll stand by this movie. There's some great lines in this movie.
Yeah, you know, there is. I'll give you that. There's no good lines in it, but there's some funny lines in it. I'll give you that one.
Okay. So, yeah, see that out? It's the one from the 90s. I'm not going to make you watch the shit fucking Chun-Li one they did in, like, the 2000s. Street Fighter, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Thank you very much for watching this episode on Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed. Let us know what you think of the... all the film critics, make sure to let us know what you think of what we've just done in the comments down below.
I'm not part of this.
So what you think of the
Crime
movie
against
as well?
God that we've just committed.
Do you think it's really bad if we kind of like Photoshop the CGI Scooby-Doo head onto like a photo of Alfred Hitchcock, and that's kind of like...
No, what we'll do is we'll take that scene. We'll take that scene from The Godfather, Photoshop his head onto that guy, and then, you know, the bit where he opens the fucking his bed cover and there's the horse head in his bed. We'll Photoshop Alfred Hitchcock's head to the guy and Scooby-Doo's head in the bed. And that's what we've just done to him, essentially.
Oh, boy.
Give us a like and a subscribe if you like. Listen, you can leave us a rating on all your favorite podcasting apps if you've been listening to us on there, and make sure to follow us on social media at The Real Outtakes on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.